March 22nd, 2025 at 10:37 a.m. I'm just coming down from a panic attack that was caused by watching stuff on social media. That's where the trigger happened. There was a video about... It was supposed to be kind of funny, I guess. But it was one of those, what would you do in this situation? Where there was a little girl having a birthday party, and she was going to blow out her candles, but I guess her older sister next to her kept blowing out the candles before she could, and the little girl was screaming her head off and crying, of course. And the parents kept trying to relight the candle, but the older sister kept blowing it out, and so on and so forth. And I was just getting so mad, so angry for some reason. I was like, why don't you just take the kid out of there, or, whatever, just do something different. It's not working. And so I stopped watching that video because I was getting worked up about it and I didn't want to. But it was a bit too late. And then everything started to go downhill. So I went and, after I was able to stand up, I walked over, hobbled over to the patio door and opened it up and used my cannabis. Now I'm relaxed. I'm still kind of having body trembles and whatnot, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know why my body keeps doing this. I don't know what it's trying to tell me, if anything. I don't know what's happening, and I don't like it, and I'm angry, I'm scared, worried, stressed, all of the stuff, all of the time. It's getting to a point where I'm at my wit's end, for the most part. I'm not sure what to make of it. I want it to stop, but I don't know how to make it stop. I want it to be different, but everything that I've tried so far to make it different hasn't seemed to work. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. I've tried therapy in the past. I've tried talking with people in the hospital. I've tried pills. I've tried different therapy techniques. I've tried a number of things, and I always seem to wind up right back here because I'm doing this because I'm doing the same things that I always do. I think I'm answering my own questions as I talk. Maybe I'll just keep going. I'm always doing the same things. I don't do anything new. I study so much about everything, wanting to know everything as much as I can, learning all I can, but I don't study it, I guess, in the sense that I don't seem to retain the knowledge, or I choose to avoid certain paths of knowledge, and I don't know why. I apologize for any vibrations you hear in the video. My body's vibrating right now, so. But when it comes to my research of things, if it can so be called, I tend to not remember the things I look at and read and so on, or I tend to overlook places of information and just press on as if I know what's going on. When it comes to wanting to learn everything, I'm not doing anything new. And so it's time to do something new, I think. I want to try this and I want to start that and so on, but it becomes overwhelming really quick because I get to thinking, well, what if it's the wrong thing? What if you're doing it and it's not going to work out? What if this and this and this? And part of me is also like, Oh, but look at all the work involved. Look what you're starting from nothing again. You have to start all over, and it's going to be so much work and stress. And that's what I deal with every day when it comes to doing anything. Even if it's something like YouTube that I've been doing constantly for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. It's always like, well, what about this, and what if that, and what if this, and oh, look at all that work you still have to do. There's so much to do, you can't do that. Oh. I can't seem to turn it off. It's something that I struggle with every day. And it affects a lot of things, this way of thinking and way of operating. I'm always being invited out to places and to do things with people, and a lot of times at the time when I'm invited, it's like, yeah, that sounds great, I love it. But the more I think about it coming up, and the more I think about the things that's going to happen, and the more I think about this, that, and the other, and by the time it comes time to go, I always say, no, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't make it. And I come up with so many reasons why, like, oh, it's because of this, or it's because of that. And I always dance around what the real issue is. I don't know if it's the real issue, but one of the real issues is I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself to act in a way that everybody will appreciate or will not turn people off from wanting to interact with me. I don't know if it's not trusting myself to be on my best behavior when it comes to, say, going to a party and having alcohol, because I tend to use alcohol as a coping mechanism for turning off parts of my brain so I can actually think and function. But in a social setting, I use it as well to cope with nerves and anxiousness, and so it turns out that one drink leads to 6, and before I know it, I'm being carried out the door to go home. That might be part of the whole thing. I don't know how to be in normal society, quote unquote normal society. I don't know how to operate as a human, I guess a normal human, I guess a societally normal human, without having ways to cope. And if I don't have ways to cope, then I can't do it. I don't trust myself enough to be comfortable with who I actually am. And I think that tends to trounce any ideas of getting out in public and being around people on a regular basis. I don't trust myself to be confident enough in what I'm doing while I'm out. I can't seem to believe that I will function normally and do things right and not mess up. Because if I do one thing that's wrong, then I'm a failure and I'm a screw up and everybody hates me and everything else, and I have to make sure everybody's happy and okay. And this is how I live my life, day to day. It's only a small portion of it, but that's one of the big things, for sure. And I don't know how to overcome it. I've tried, again, therapy, I've tried pills, I've tried so many different things, but I don't know if I've actually tried them. I know for a fact I am not going back to any form of medication in the way of pills from doctors. The last batch I was on, I was taking upwards of 10 to 12 different pills a day, and the side effects were just 100 times worse than what they were trying to fix. So I will not go back to a pill. But during the time when I was on the pills, and during the side effects, so to speak, if they can still be called, I began researching alternative medicines, as you do, and came across the idea of psilocybin mushrooms. Now I know they're illegal, and so on and so forth. I know all of that. But back when I first started to look into alternatives, I came across these things, and I found such overwhelming evidence of proof that these things do work, even with one dose. And I spent probably 3 years, if not more, researching the hell out of them. I did do microdosing for a time, and my life was turned upside down in the fact that I got better. I was more better than I had ever been in my life. I felt happy, I could think, I could relax. I don't think I ever had really one panic attack during that time. And it was unbelievable, the change that happened. And a lot of it lasted. Like, a lot of the things, the benefits lasted for months afterwards. There were some times where things fell back into the way they used to be, with anxiety creeping in and such, but it was way more manageable. And recently I did another microdosing regimen, but I'm seriously thinking about starting it again, or if not that, then going to the amounts that are needed to go where I think I need to go, so to speak. I do not endorse or condone the use of any psychedelic in any way, shape, or form. This is just for my own personal information and for educational and informational purposes only. Anyone who attempts to use these things based on the information I'm providing here is doing so at their own risk. I am not liable for anything that happens. Sorry, I had to put that in. I'm seriously considering it. I've seen the stories of people's experiences with them through videos on YouTube. I've read about them through different forums online. I can't understand how they work, but I know that smaller doses do wonders, and I can only assume that the bigger you go, the better the things get. And so I think I might have to do that because I need to do something. I'm probably going to post this on the channel that has the playlist of my microdosing videos. They're still up at this moment, so if you want to see it, I would recommend go checking it out. It's nothing flashy and amazing. It's just me sitting in front of the camera and talking. I talk about the things I'm thinking about, the things I'm working through, and so on and so forth. I talk about how the days before were and where I am now and along the journey and so on. Feel free to go check out the playlist. It's there. I appreciate you all taking the time to listen. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you like what you've heard here, feel free to interact with the big thumbs up, like. And if you want to hear more, feel free to let me know in comments and whatnot. And if you want to follow along, hit subscribe and ring the bell. And you get notified when the new stuff comes out. Again, thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Ciao for now.